All right. Welcome to Comics with Dan. This, believe it or not, is the Comics Commute number 28. As you can see, I am not in my car, but I decided that I would give live streaming a try for the Comics Commute because I was having some vehicle issues. I'm not sure what's going on with the screen. I'm not sure why it's. Not sure why it's not. Why I'm only on half of it, but I guess we'll find out. So this was sort of a last minute thing. So I won't be able to put any of the covers up on the screen like you normally see, but I'll still talk about the comics that I read, as well as the comics that I have coming up this next week. So we'll talk about that a bit, and obviously everyone will get to watch the recorded version of this for anyone who wasn't able to catch it live. But anyway, so I had if you saw at the end of the Comics Commute number 27, I had a little behind after the credits scene of me having the realization that I lost my mirror on my car, and it's just like the panel part of it, not the whole thing. But I I didn't feel like it'd be prudent for me to drive to work doing that. So in addition to that, I've been wanting to try doing sort of a live stream for the Comics Commute, but I don't think that trying to sort of reply to comments during a live stream while driving would be very safe. So this seemed like a good opportunity to do that. But because it was last minute, I am a little unprepared. So I was hoping to find some kind of program that I could use to put the covers up on the screen, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem I wasn't able to find anything on kind of short notice. So okay, so now there's a handful of books that I talked about, and I've got my League of Comic Geeks up on my computer screen here. So and I'll try to keep it around what the Comics Commute normally is. So I'll probably stream for about 20, at most 30 minutes. My actual commute is around 25 minutes, and I usually kind of break it down to kind of cut things out that make it closer to 20. So I'll get started here. The first one I want to talk about is I read Absolute Power number 2. And that was a pretty good follow up issue to issue number 1. We're moving along in the plot. It to be expected. I definitely enjoy it more, story wise than I did Dark Crisis. I feel like there's way more to it, whereas Dark Crisis was sort of, the darkness is a bit of a a bit of a lame villain, So that's it's definitely good in comparison to that. Plus, even though the art in Dark Crisis was very good, because I believe Daniel Sampere did a lot of that art, and he's fantastic. Obviously, Dan Mora is one of my favorites, so having Dan Mora do the art for Absolute Power has been awesome. So, excuse me. So this second issue here, things start to get worse before they get better. And so for Absolute Power number 2, we see sort of a little more about what happens to John Kent, which honestly, before Absolute Power, I was a little surprised or I didn't think that he was going to play that big of a role. But it seems like he's going to. And then I did kind of realize that Dreamer would, because she's, heavily featured in I think the Suicide Squad book that leads up to Absolute Power. So that does make sense. But it was a good issue. Aquaman's there, which I'm planning on putting out a video pretty soon about where Aquaman is, because it's a mystery that nobody can seem to find out. He randomly appears in the pages of Absolute Power, which is cool. But what has he been doing this entire time? Who knows? So so I'm hoping we'll get more Aquaman. I'm hoping that we'll get some Aquaman announced for DC All In or Absolute Aquaman. And I had an idea that I really liked, that I'll be putting in this video, but I'd really like to see Absolute Aquaman be an Atlantean that is not born into royalty. That he's sort of a lower class, citizen, and has to fight against a corrupt Atlantean, hierarchy, or a corrupt Atlantean monarchy, rather. So, and maybe he could be doing that with Orm, or he could be doing that with Black Manta, right? So, I'm getting a little off track from Absolute Power, but I think that an Aquaman and Orm teaming up with Black Manta as the enemy of the enemy is my friend, sort of deal, I think would be really exciting. I think that'd be pretty cool. So for so for the next one that I have here is Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries #8, which I just read this last night with my kids, actually, and it was really well done. Sholly Fish he's always good. So he's always a fantastic kids writer, and I do have to say that the art was a little off for me. I've stated before that I really like when artists for these Scooby-Doo characters try to stay as true as possible to the original source material, and some of this just wasn't there. I can really take or leave whichever Batman design they use. In this series, they've used like more of an Adam West Batman style. Not quite exactly like Adam West, but I've seen Batman the Animated Series style. So all sorts of different styles. So that's a little less important to me. But it's just there's a really specific. There's some of these artists on these books can just capture exactly what it looks like in the cartoons for these characters. And to me, that's fairly important. But it was a good story. It has to do with the cover on it says "Think Big," and it has to do with they're visiting this museum where there's all these giant props in it, and there's someone trying to rob the museum, and then the hilarity ensues from there. So. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot. It was clever as always, and like I said, Sholly Fish he's just such a great kids writer. He makes the books kids friendly, but he doesn't dumb it down, which I think is really important when you're talking about kids books, right? Is not treating the kids like they're dumb. Like kids can understand more than a lot of people give them credit for. So I think that Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, Sholly Fish, really good issue there. I read Cal 1964. I had read that a little while back, back when the Final Order cutoff was, and it was a really good issue. I'm already really excited for issue #2, and I'm excited that it got extended to 4 issues. It was originally just going to be 3. So I'm really excited about that one. This one went well. As I said in my last week video, the art's really good. It was a really great pickup from the previous series, which ended 10 years ago at this point, which is crazy. So if you like the political thrillers, the dramas, then Cal 1964, that one's probably for you. So make sure you pick that up. If you don't pick it up, get it in trade or whatever. So I think that this is going to be a wild ride for these next 3 issues for sure. I also read The Pedestrian, which I've talked about a lot on my Twitter and on this channel, and it's awesome. It's so good. And I actually also released a review for issue #2, which the Final Order cutoff was on Monday. So issue one and issue two, both really, really good. Just fantastic. And it's such a good combination of funny and like actually good story, right? I mean, you can have a book that's all funny, or you can have a book that's a little more a book that's all serious. But to be able to combine those two, I think is not an easy task. But Joey Esposito nails it. He hits it on the spot. It makes me wonder what his Sesame Street book is going to look like, because like obviously like that's a kid's book, but is he gonna pull out all the stops for that one as well? You know, if he writes it the same way that he writes The Pedestrian, obviously tailored to a different audience, then I think that Sesame Street could just be a good book in general. So I'm really actually very excited to read Sesame Street. I also read Space Ghost #4. So Space Ghost #4 is the Return of Zorak, right? So if you know Space Ghost from the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, then he's the main villain. If you know Space Ghost from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, then you know Zorak as the band leader. But David Pepose and Jonathan Lau and Andrew Dalhouse and Taylor Esposito all work together to make Zorak just terrifying. He's just this menacing villain, and it's great to see. This is another one I got a little early, but I have a separate review of this one as well, so definitely go check that out. I liked it a lot. I have a little more detail in that review than I'll provide here, but it was a good issue. It was probably the best issue of the series so far. And then part two of this sort of little two-part story arc is going to be in issue 5. So 4 and 5 are a 2-issue story arc, whereas issues 1 through 3 have each been standalone. So make sure that you check those out. Space Ghost has been awesome. I love Space Ghost. He's one of my favorite characters. So I also read Star Wars Inquisitors #2. This was a good follow up. I really liked the cover says it that we get to see the fifth brother, right? And he's taking on Tensu Run. I almost said Cal Kestis. He's taking on Tensu Run, and it's this really cool sort of dynamic, and we get more character building from Rodney Barnes for Tensu Run. And I'm going to be honest, I thought that I was going to get this series and I was going to get cool villains and I was going to get a Cal Kestis appearance. And that's partially what I'm getting, because I'm getting cool villains. I have not gotten a Cal Kestis appearance, but I have gotten a new Jedi to like, which is Tensu Run. I like him a lot. I think that the concept of someone who's been thrust into this position of this almost myth of the Jedi Order, that everyone he inspires hope, and some people don't even know if he exists, and it's really great, and Rodney Barnes is doing a great job of fleshing that character out a lot. So definitely glad I picked this one up, even outside of the fact that that Cal Kestis hasn't made an appearance yet, and that it's possible he might not make an appearance at all. So that's sort of what I read last week. I got to read Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries #7, which I didn't have until last week. I got to pick that one up. I read that, and it was pretty good. I like the art in that one better than #8, but I like the story in #8 better. Now, one thing I wanted to grab is I got this last week too. So you can see like how small it is. It's the DC Compact Edition. I got Batman Hush. So this is such a great idea. The fact that this was $10 and then I get 10 or 20% or whatever the discount is at my local comic shop. So this is basically like $8 or $9, right? And so it's just getting them in these small compact editions, and I mean, DC needs to be putting these out for every single story that they find, that they have. I mean, I don't want to drop, $20 on a trade when I can spend a lot less and get it in this smaller format. I would still get, like nice hardcovers for things that I like in particular, or even regular trades for something, that I might already be collecting the trades for, or something like that. But this would be great. Like any older stories, they need to be putting these in there. From what I've heard online, these are selling really well. So I think DC should be, looking to sort of add more and more and more of these. I think they announced a handful of them. And honestly, I've been tempted to buy some of these that I already have the book for. I have the deluxe hardcover for Watchmen, and I still kind of wanted to get the compact edition just because I love these books so much. But yeah, so you can see I got like a standard size trade here. I mean, you can see how much smaller it is, right? I mean, yeah, I mean it's this is I wouldn't even consider this one to be like a cumbersome one to read, but I mean like that's such a I mean it's so compact too. And you look at the sides, right? Like you get so much more story, and this trade was $17, right? I mean you get so much more for this than for your money. It's fantastic. So I really like that. Let's talk a little bit about what I'm picking up today, actually, in probably a few hours here. It's a small week, but an exciting week. I'm going to be picking up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Night Watcher, which I'm really excited about. I resisted the temptation. I saw someone on League of Comic Geeks posted a review that just said, I called it, in all caps. And I was going to go and look and see, like, well, what did they call it? Who did they think Night Watcher is? I think that I have no idea who the Night Watcher is. So I saw someone said that it confirmed in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha that Jenica is not the Night Watcher, and I think that it features pretty heavily in Mutant Nation, that series that's coming out, which I don't think I'm going to be picking that up, but yeah, I have no idea who Night Watcher is, so we'll have to see. I'm wondering if it could be a new character or whatever, but I'm excited to see. It seems like maybe based on that I Called It review that it's been revealed. So I'm excited to see that. So we'll see how that goes. Transformers number 11 is also, that's the second book I'm picking up today, which it has a fantastic cover with Optimus Prime taking on Shockwave. So Soundwave, Shockwave, taking on Shockwave, and as always, such a great series. So I'm really excited for that one. We'll see, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's kind of what I have cooking for this next week. I mean, I can look at sort of hey Brian, what's going on? Yeah, happy new comic book day, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited that we are here. I don't know if I'll grab anything off the shelves. So, Brian, what are you pulling? What are you pulling today? Or did you already go to your store, or are you going later, or what? I'd be interested to hear. So yeah, I mean, I've got these two, Night Watcher, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Night Watcher, and Transformers, and so those are the two that I'm definitely picking up. But I don't know. I mean, I can always look and see what's coming up this week. So if I look at DC, new comics, and that's today. So after work, picking up Geiger, Spider-Boy, Miles, and Amazing Spider-Man. Nice, very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and look and see we got DC Comics. I'm gonna pull up my look at Marvel and look at those books that you just mentioned, and I'm sure some others too, for sure. I am definitely someone who can get into trouble staring at the new releases shelf. That's for sure. So you said Miles, and I'm interested about that one because my understanding is just based on the solicit that whatever happened to him in Blood Hunt. I guess he's still a vampire. I mean, you look at the cover of it, and he's still got the vampire features. Amazing Spider-Man. It's a pretty good cover. I like that cover a lot. And we're nearing the end of the Zeb Wells run, which, some people will say that's good, some will say it's bad. I think it's a little overhated, just from what I've read of it. It's not bad, but it's certainly not as bad as I think a lot of people make it out to be. Yeah, I hope that doesn't stick. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I Miles being a vampire sticking would probably not be good for the character, in my opinion. And so Spider-Boy has Spider-Boy versus Spider-Verse, the Spider-Boy number 10. So that looks like a cool one. I'm not usually too big on the Spider-Verse thing, but the Spider-Boy issue that I read was it, 2 months ago, I guess, number 8 with the puzzle master or whatever. That was really good. So I like that a lot. And I think you said, Geiger. Yeah, so I've been meaning to read the Ghost Machine stuff, but I never I had Rook Exodus on my pull list, but I just my store never got it. And so I kind of dropped it off. I'll probably try to find trades of all those, but yeah, that sounds like a good week for you. So I'm sure that there's some stuff that I'll pick up. Few issues behind on Spider-Boy. Okay, so if you haven't read issue number 8 is really good. It has this new villain, Puzzle Master in it, and there's puzzles in it. Rook's your favorite of the 3. Yeah, see, I read a preview of it, and it sounds so good, and I think maybe I just need to buy the trade whenever it comes out. So, yeah, I mean, let me see what DC is going to throw out there this week for new comics. I think Batman came out last week. I might try, Batman 151. I might try, because the idea of Batman and Catwoman hunting down a mother box is a really good idea. So I might just try to find a copy of that. But as far as DC stuff that's coming out this week, there's a House of Secrets facsimile, which is really tempting because I do like Swamp Thing a lot. So, other than that, there's Green Lantern, which is an Absolute Power tie-in. I don't know what Green Lantern's supposed to be doing in Absolute Power. There's Absolute Power Task Force 7, and then Batman and Robin number 12. There is a foil of the House of Secrets too. I'd be surprised if my store has that, But yeah, and then there's also Action Comics, which I think this is probably Gail Simone's second book, right? Yeah, she did her first one last month. So yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. So we'll see how this goes. I'd really like to maybe pick up another book or two. Fantastic Four, that's coming out this week. I had that dropped off my pull list just because my pull list was getting a little unruly. So that's a lot. That's a lot to have all at once. So it's interesting to see there's that Spider Society book that's coming out that it appears like it ties into. It looks like it ties into the Spider-Boy book a little bit, but maybe not. They both have to do with the Spider-Verse. So, okay. All right. Well, I think that's probably the end for me. I'm closing in on the amount of time that I wanted to do for this, but hopefully everyone enjoyed the video. I might do this a little more frequently if it can gain some traction. So thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. And you know, next time I'll come a little more prepared. And yeah, happy reading, Brian. Thanks. All right, bye everyone.